to the live stream. Anybody out there on a Saturday evening in Europe? Maybe it's a different time of day where you are. Let me know. Let me know where you're joining from. Go ahead and start with a song. If you join and I'm just playing a song or whatever, just feel free to say hi, and also just ask any question, because I'm gonna do songs, and then I'm just gonna stop and not answer questions and just have a chat. Keep it very informal. Okay, here we go. Start with a song. This is called Mad Eric.
Call him Mad Eric, he talks to himself with a crutch at his left, and he walks with his helm. Ain't got no money, can't afford nothing else. Drinks all day, falls over himself. Searching around these streets he roams, and people's falling change. It's cold outside, need a home. It's pouring down with rain. Harry don't have no home, no money, no job, nowhere to go. No woman, not sanity, and this ain't funny, cause half of it you don't know. Yeah, they call him Mad Eric when his kids walk by, cause his shots and fists the sky. Crazy old man, they call him, but why? Crazy old man, they say. And go, Eric, go, play that blues, you'll find it hard to cope. You're hungry, cold, tired and broke. Every day's the same, just gets worse. Ain't got no one on this earth. Go, Eric, go, play that blues, 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 Go, Eric, go, play that blues, you find it hard to cope. You're hungry, cold, tired and broke. Every day's the same, it just gets worse. Ain't got no one on this earth. And go, Eric, go, play that blues, you know. And play that blues, you know. Call him Mad Eric, he talks to himself with a crutch at his left and he walks with his helm. Ain't got no money, can't afford nothing else. Drinks all day, falls over himself. Searching around these streets he roams and people's falling change. And it's cold outside but you need a home. It's pouring down with rain. And Eric don't have no home, no money, no job, nowhere to go. No woman, not sanity, and this ain't funny, cause half of it you don't know. Yeah, they call him Mad Eric when his kids walk by. Curses, shouts, and fists the sky. Crazy old man, they call him, but why? Crazy old man, they say. And go, Eric, go, play that blues, you know. You find it hard to cope. Hungry, cold, tired, and broke. Every day's the same, just gets worse. Ain't got no one on this earth. Go, Eric, go. Go, Eric, go. Go, Eric, go. Play that blues, play that blues, play that blues. I play that blues, 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 play that blues. I play that blues, play that blues, play that blues, play that blues. Play that blues, you know. Play that blues, you know. I play that blues, you know. Play that blues, you know. Play that blues, you know.
That was Mad Eric. And I always go a little bit mad on that song. Hold on. Just get my hair out of the way. There we go. All right. So if you just joined the live stream, welcome. These streams are just all about just connecting with you, my subscribers, and you know, feel free to ask questions and let me know what you're working on and stuff like this. All right, from Mexico, welcome, Aldo. Is that right, Aldo? Hey, how's it going? Jij is here. Welcome, Jij. Alex is here from Scotland. I will do the landlord's daughter one day. Absolutely. It won't be today, unfortunately. It's one that I'll need a few weeks to sort of to prepare myself for, you know. Who was Eric? That's a good question. Eric was my hometown's sort of drunk, and he was just, you know, this old guy in my hometown in Farnham in Surrey in the southeast of England, and you know, we were kids, and we would sort of laugh at him and stuff, but because he would have this cane, and he would sort of just talk to himself all the time. I don't think he was actually mad. He was just you know, we'd always see him in the park drinking and stuff like this, and I always thought like, oh, he's probably a lonely guy, you know, and he's probably not around, to be fair, because he was fairly old when I was a kid. So, but I thought I would create this sort of story around him, that he played harmonica, and that he had this family that he lost. So yeah, that's kind of the story that I made up. He's a real person, but this is just a kind of a story that I made up about him, and that's who he is. I believe that every hometown has every town has their own local sort of drunk, their local sort of crazy person, right? So that's kind of what it's about. But let me know what you're particularly working on at the moment. I'd love to know. I'm doing, you know, it's one of my problems is I take on too much. I take on too many projects. I try to do too much, and so I'm trying to be conscious about that, and trying to make more time for certain things, you know, because I have like 10 projects that I'm trying to work on at any one time, and I've got some really interesting stuff. If anybody, if you see a random like thumbs up, that's just the Apple, the latest upgrade, or the previous upgrade. Whenever you do a thumbs up, or whenever they think it's a thumbs up, you'll see like a thumbs up come up. So that's in case. Yeah, I'm trying to work on my time, trying to work on various different things, but I got lots of really interesting stuff that I'm working on. One of them is actually a maybe, I don't know if it will come out, but it's a digital instrument that I might be creating with a friend of mine who creates digital instruments, and that would be interesting because I know nothing about that world. But I have, you know, if anybody has seen any of my really older videos, I went through this period of sort of creating, and I still do. I just don't do it as much, creating my own instruments, and I invent my own instruments as well. I think it's a wonderful thing to just create your own instrument, and I have this thing called a steel plate harp. If you search it on YouTube, steel plate harp, Fabian Holland, you'll find it, and it's basically this instrument created out of a big piece of steel, basically. It sounds pretty interesting. It doesn't have many notes. I think in the future I put more strings on it, but if you haven't seen that, then check out that video. I did it a long time ago, but anyway, I might be turning that into a digital instrument. We'll see. That's one of my many projects that I have ongoing, that I need to make time for. Okay. Let's have a look at some questions. Jidge says, are all your songs inspired by reality? No. Some of them are. And some of them are just completely made up. Most of them inspired by actual events, either I've experienced or people I know have experienced, or stuff that I've just seen, you know, stuff that has happened in the world, maybe. But no, it can be anything, and that's interesting actually, because I was speaking to someone who said he was struggling with writing a song about a story that is not his own experience. So he was struggling to sort of connect with that, you know, which I've always haven't had a problem with connecting with just any story, you know. I think it's about kind of putting yourself in that person's seat, you know, as it were, and then working on that emotion, you know. Jidge says, I'm working on a new type of amp. Okay, it's called ARS. Amplifier Reinforced Sound Enhancement. I may need to change the name. Yeah, maybe. I'll post about it on the Song Club. Nice. I like it. Amplifier Reinforced Sound Enhancement. Nice. I like the sound of that. Yeah, you might need to change the name a little bit though. If anybody is wondering what that is, the Song Club is my little club that I have that we share ideas and thoughts and questions and stuff. So and it's off YouTube. It's on my own website. If you're interested, then I always have like a link for that below, and it's completely free. Many vibes. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? Good to see you. Reality is for folks that can't handle their imagination. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good quote. Did you create that quote, or is that from somewhere else? Okay. I'll go with another song. I'll go straight into it. I'm trying to do ones that I haven't done for a little bit. Maybe I'll do. I'll do it capoed. I'm just deciding where I'm going to capo this. Sometimes I decide to capo things a little too high. My vocal range is not massively high, although it's something I'm working on. I'll see if I can do it that high. Oh, that's pretty high. This is a Skip James song. I'll see if I can do it this high. And Skip James sings this quite high, you know. And Skip James is one of those blues musicians that it's just amazing, you know. I love blues musicians that don't sound like your typical 12-bar blues stuff, you know. This is the sort of stuff that I'm really interested in. The sort of the later stuff, the Chicago 12-bar blues, the electric stuff, you know, came a bit later, and that's all good. I still really enjoy that stuff. But I'm really into the early stuff, the early blues, the gospel blues, you know, the early stuff, which really gets me. Am I going to try it this high? I'm going to try it this high. All right, I've never done it this high. We'll see. It's Hard Time Killing 4 Blues.
Hard times are here and everywhere you go. And times is harder than ever been before. People are drifting from door to door. Find no heaven, I don't care where they go. Oh, you hear me singing all this lonesome song. These hard times will drive you so wrong. Hard times are hidden everywhere you go. And times is harder than ever been before. Times is harder than ever been before. Times is harder than ever been before. You hear me singing, oh, this lonesome song. These hard times will drive you so long, yeah. Boy, you say you have money, oh, you better be sure. These hard times will drive you from door to door. Oh, you hear me singing, oh, this lonesome song. These hard times will drive you so wrong. Times are here and everywhere you go. times will drive us from door to door. Boy, you say you have money, but you better be sure these hard times will drive you from door to door.
That was Hard Time Killing Floor Blues. Yeah, it's one of these songs that really cuts deep, and yeah, I don't know if I did it justice on that one. Maybe I think I'd capped it a bit too high, but if you haven't heard the original, then really listen to the original. But I heard the first time I heard this someone cover this song was actually a guitarist called Kelly Joe Phelps, and his version of it is really amazing. All right, let's have a little look. All right, a few more people. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Sparky's here. Welcome. Andrew's here. Is that Mazukakai? Can I call you Maz for short on that one? Stuart Holland. That's my dad. Hey, Dad. From Kentucky. Nice. Oh, would you ever consider playing... Hey, Andrew. Would you ever consider playing Riverman by Nick Drake live? You know what? I've never actually learnt that. I'd like to learn that. Let me jot that down, because I always forget. I've just got a little pad thing here for like notes and stuff. Riverman. I know the song. Be really cool to do a cover of it. I'm you know, I find covers strange, especially when it's a cover of someone that I really respect and someone that I think is a great guitarist, you know, because I feel like I can't do it justice, you know, in a way, a little bit, you know. Anybody else get this feeling of that I can't, especially anything like vocals wise, you know, because I've always considered myself a guitarist first and a vocalist second. You know, I'm a guitarist that also sings, kind of thing, you know. And anything that is like vocally, you have to be, someone does a really good vocal performance. I always struggle to sort of cover that, you know, because I don't consider myself a strong vocalist, and I know many people have told me that they think otherwise. They think they like my voice, but you know, I think it's something that I'm used to my voice now, but it took me years to really even get used to it, you know. So I don't know why I started talking about this. It was covers, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I think I could do a fairly good job of Nick Drake, you know. It's the thing with covers is like you never want to do it how they play it anyway, you know. You want to put your own spin on things, and that I feel I try to do as much as I can, you know. I think that's the whole point of doing a cover. 2 tracks from your first CD. And No Landlord's Daughter. Were they 2 tracks from my first CD? Yeah. Yeah, they were, weren't they? You know what? I really like my first album, and I play a lot of songs from my first album. I don't know, there's something about the songs that I've done in my first album that are just, I don't know. Because that's the thing, it's like, the first album, you know, there's this thing of like the first album being the best of all artists. And that can be true. But I think the reason that that's maybe true is because the first album is usually full of songs that the artist or band has been playing their entire life, you know, their entire career, basically, up until the point that they recorded their album, you know. So these are songs that are well sort of rehearsed and sort of played live. You know, I've played these songs live hundreds of times, hundreds and hundreds of times, you know. So each time you play it live, it changes a little bit. It finds its feet, you know. It's like there's a thing of that I feel that songs need to find their feet, and they need to sort of, you need to play them live for a little bit before you record them. And it always, I feel, so I have this theory of like the first albums, people think that they're the best because these are songs that have, that people have genuinely, not all the time, because you get some people or bands that have just come together and then written new songs and then recorded it. But a lot of the time, you know, it's songs that people have been playing for a long, long time, you know, and that's also the case with me as well. So I was very comfortable with these songs when I recorded it. And then from the first album to the second album, that's really hard because it's like you've got a period, usually like 1 or 2 years, to come up with enough material to come up with the second album, you know. And of course, you've got less time to tour with these songs, to practice these songs, to play them live. So yeah, it was always harder to do the second album and the third album and so forth, you know, than the first one. Yeah. Where was I? Keep the questions coming, though. Dun, dun, dun. Are you talking about the amplified, the amp that Gij has? All right, let's hear the teaser. Just a quick teaser from my arse. From my ass. Oh dear. Yeah, it's an ultra low power amp with a big speaker, so you hear your amp and your acoustic guitar at the same time. Nice. Yeah. You know, I thought about this, something like this, a little bit like this. I've seen these really tiny, they're mainly electric amps, but they're like small valve amps, like 1 watt amps, you know, Class A valve guitar amps, right? And they're with no speaker cabinet, it's just the amps. And I always thought, like, because you can get them fairly cheap compared to other, you know, Class A valve amps. And you can actually, I always thought, oh, maybe I'll get one and then just get like an extension cab and see how that is, you know, because if you're not touring with an amp, then it doesn't need to be massively loud, you know. You can always mic it up, and 1 watt, I mean, that sounds really low, but if you mic it up, then I don't know, does it matter? Does the wattage really matter if you're not going to tour with it? That's my question. Is it, Jidge, is it meant for acoustic or electric or both? That'll be interesting. Hey, Vinny. How's it? Is it Vinay? Vinny? Thanks for the question. Says, I love that. What key was that in? That was in, I'm in Dadgad, and that was in, I've got the capo on the 2nd fret. But I'm in G fingering, so what is that? That's an A. That's an A. So A minor. So I use a lot of these different keys in Dadgad rather than just using like D major and D minor. I try and play in like different keys, but these keys still have a lot of these open strings, you know, like this, because I've got it capoed on the 2nd fret. It would be in A minor if it was no capo, but because it's capoed on the 2nd fret, to me, no, it would be, sorry, G minor. So to me, it's I'm thinking about in G because that's the fingering that I'm using. You know, so in G, it would have lots of these, you know, D's, D's and G's, obviously. So I can play lots of open strings still. But yeah, it's I love it. Hey Russell, how's it going? We got welcome to the live stream. Just looking for any questions. Make sure if you have a question, put your question mark by it. Maybe even 2 question marks, so I can kind of clearly see. Ah, thank you very much. Many vibes. I appreciate that. I have an excellent vocal. Many vibes says, Fabian, you're an excellent vocalist. I appreciate that. It's all kind of, you know, in your head a little bit, you know. Lots of people I have met struggle with their own voices, you know, and it's just kind of takes a while to get over that and get comfortable with your voice. Yeah, I'm usually almost always in Dadgad. But I have been thinking about doing some more stuff in standard tuning, just so for those standard tuners, I can kind of show what I'm doing, because a lot of what I'm doing you can still do in standard tuning, you know. Of course, it won't sound the same, but a lot of my techniques and what I use can be applied to standard tuning as well, or any tuning really. Oh yeah, the Guitar Summit. Yeah, that was really cool. If anybody is in Europe here, then the Guitar Summit is the place to be in September. Every September, end of September, it's just a guitar fest for guitarists. It's just like an exhibition, you know, where there's stands, basically like what do you call it? NAMM is that in California? NAMM. It's a similar thing. It's the biggest guitar event in Europe, and there's loads. There's loads and loads of different guitar builders and pedals and amplifiers, and just I only went for one day. I wish I'd gone. I wish I'd been able to go for 3 days. Because there's just too much. It's like, it was very overwhelming. But if anybody's there that's that's my subscribers, then let me know. You know, I'm gonna maybe try and go every year. We'll see. But you know, if anybody goes, then let me know, and I'd love to meet up because I was just there. I didn't know anyone. I was just there on my own. You know, but you get to meet a lot of people, and it was nice to do that. Hey Paul, how's it going? Yeah, Nick Drake. I love a bit of Nick Drake. You know what? I miss. You know what I miss? I miss playing music. Just to not do anything, but just listen to music. And I'll be honest, I don't do that as much um, than I used to, and I wish I would do that. And I have lots of vinyl, but I haven't managed to get hold of a record player for a while. There was like my old one broke, and there's something about vinyl or even CDs. I have a CD player. Um, I need to listen to more CDs or vinyl. You know, there's something about sort of the physical thing of putting the CD in on the vinyl and then looking at the cover and just listening to the music. You know, I don't do that enough. I'd like to do that more because that's a really nice thing to do. You know, I think more and more music is becoming kind of, you know, background music. It's coming in the background to our lives, you know, which is fine, you know, to do. But I like to just focus on the music when I'm listening to it, you know. Hey, Simon. Recommendation for a ribbon mic, please. Playing a Loudon O10C and want to try ribbon mic. You know what? It depends on where you are, but I don't know if they ship to the States or not. I use a lot of no hype audio mics, ribbon mics. You can search on no hype audio. I've got a few videos on them as well, and they're really good for if you just want to try a ribbon mic, you know. And there you will find cheap ribbon mics on on Toman and stuff, you know, online, or I can't remember the makes now, but these cheap ones, you know, they're definitely made in China, you know, or somewhere. They're not and it's really important for the ribbon to be very precise and to, you know, the way it's kind of laid out. That's laying the ribbon is basically everything, is the most important thing. And no hype audio, they're able to. They do. I think they do get a lot of their parts from elsewhere, but they put everything together in where they based in Belgium. They're based in Belgium, and they put everything together, like putting the ribbon in place in the workshop in Belgium. You know, which is really important. So they sound a lot better than these cheap ones that you can get. Yet they're only like a couple of hundred of, depends on where you are, dollars, euros, something like this, to maybe 300 by now. I'm not sure, but definitely around the 200 range, you know. And they sound really great, you know. You can, a lot of my videos, I'm using them, and they really do sound good. So I'd recommend them. If you want something a little like step up, like a lot better, then I'm actually doing a video on a ribbon mic right now, and it's probably going to be posted next week, maybe. And this is from Extinct Audio, and they're based in England, in the UK, in York. They make incredible ribbon microphones, like incredible. A lot of their microphones are around like from, I think, from like 600, 900, 1,000 plus, you know. But they have this one that I'm looking at called the Bourbon that is, I think it's around 400 price range, something like this. So, you know, there's two that I can recommend. But yeah, ribbon mics are lovely, you know, very, very different to like condensers, you know, very different sound, but they have their own sort of uniqueness and own character, you know. Hope that helps. Hey, is pronounced Jose? How's it going? When you mic it, how do you connect pedal board adapter preamp? How do you mean there? You might need to elaborate there. Do you mean, or maybe is this a conversation that's been going on? I don't know. I'm guessing you're talking about an amp. You know what? I don't have a huge amount of experience with recording electric amps. The only electric guitar I have is my lap steel, my homemade lap steel. And I've got this sort of Fender Frontman amp that I use with it, but I'd love to get a valve amp or a tube amp. But I would connect the pedal board just straight in the front, personally. That's how I would do it. And then miking it, either an SM57 or ribbon microphones actually really sound great on electric guitar amps. Yeah. Anybody else have experience with pedal boards or miking amps? Pedal boards into the amp or send and return? It's specifically for acoustic, Chidge says, yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. Please post it on the Song Club. Andrew says, your voice is nice. Some people like it, some people won't. I think it just depends on who you ask. Yeah, absolutely. It's thanks, appreciate that. Everything's a preference, isn't it? You know? And yeah, it's one of these things. I think it's like something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people that I talk to, at least, you know, struggle with the sound of their voice, or the, you know, listening back to their voice. And I think it's just a matter of doing it lots, to be honest. Like, I really do. I think that you just need to record yourself lots and lots. And if you listen back to your voice so much, you kind of get used to it, you know? I think it's for, if you've never recorded your voice, singing or talking, you know, or anything, and listen back to it, it's really weird. It's really awkward to hear, and most people hate it. But eventually you get used to it, and you actually maybe start to like it, you know? But I appreciate that, Andrew. I should try and perform there next time, yeah. I should get in touch with them, maybe. I don't know. I think they have quite high profile people up there, you know, on the Guitar Summit. But I should do, you know. It's not very far from me at all. It's in Mannheim, which is like south, not really south, mid-west Germany, not far from Frankfurt. Nam used to be, is it Nam? Nam. Nam used to be in, where is that? Anaheim and Nashville, but it's just in Anaheim now, I think. All right, okay. Yeah, I'd love to go to Nam. Jidge says, I'd like to go to the Guitar Summit, but I'm not good in big crowds. Yeah, me neither, actually. It is a big crowd. It is like a lot of people, but I don't know. I was not so much that it's like you're squished together, you know, or anything like that. I don't like that. I would never. That's why I don't like to go to like big gigs with, you know, people, like thousands of people, where you're like squished in. I'm not a fan of that. All right, I'll do another song, I think, and then I'll have a look and I'll answer more questions. All right. I'll do one. I'll do one. What shall I do? I'll do the river. I'll do the river. This is also kind of in the same fingering, just with the capo on the 6th fret, and it's. I love this sort of going from a G down and then down again. So it's like the root, it's the flat 7, flat 6, and then I can do like a 5 there. This song is about it's about people that I met along the river, because I used to live in a boat in London, one of these canal boats, and it's about various people that I met. These are real people with real stories. The stories about them is kind of true, and a lot of people think that living on a boat. Living on a canal boat in England is all merry and good times, and it kind of is, but in London, you know, it can be a very different thing. I was living on the most polluted river in Britain, and you know, and that's exactly how you imagine it. It's really. It's rough people living on like rusted boats and you know, all kinds of things, and it's basically like kind of like river rats, you know. But it was a great community, even though it was very, very stressful, because my boat was just I was trying to rebuild my boat from scratch. Well, to say from scratch, I bought it secondhand, but then I gutted the whole thing, took everything out, and then kind of started again to rebuild it, knowing nothing about boats or building or anything, you know. The crazy things we do in our 20s. But, you know, I could do that because I had no responsibilities or anything, you know. So it was fine. And one point my boat was actually sinking. It was a really small leak, so it was like a kind of a drip, you know. But it would really cause me a lot of anxiety because I could hear it, you know. I could hear the drip, 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 drip at night, and I could never sleep. And I was just okay, I gotta fix that leak because my home is literally sinking. Not very good for the stress levels, but yeah, it was good fun though. It was good fun, good time in my good stories to tell in my life. Anyway, this is The River.
She's a drunk, middle-aged mom. She had children when she was too young. Now it's something you might be surprised. 3 different kids from 3 different guys. She spends her time drinking away, drinking special brew every day. How did she end up this way? People walking past would say, down by the river you may find nothing but tits and tat. Here at the river we all are just a bunch of He's a loner, he's an old man, and on boats they used to have plans. Now all he has is a very long beard, keeping him awake all these tears. He has one friend in all the world, his old dog with a long grey coat. He never sees the light of day, just waiting for time to pass away. Down by the river you may find nothing but tit and tat. Here at the river we all are just a bunch of river rats. He's a dad, he's a nice guy, a young father that doesn't know why. He can't see his poor little son, 'cause all these things this kid's mother has done. He has no money, no job, he'd do anything to earn a few bob. You look at him and you might judge that all he feels knows for his son is love. Down by the river, you may find nothing but tits and tide. Here at the river, we all are just a bunch of
That was the river. Ah. Hope everyone's good. I'm just going to have a little bit of my drink, my juice. Welcome to the live stream if you have just joined us. We're talking about all kinds of things. Taking any questions. Let me look at the chat. Make sure haven't missed any questions here. We were talking about where was it? Here we go. Okay, I'm caught up. Here we go. Sparky says, I miss the team spirit of learning and touring. Those were the days, my friend. We thought we'd never end. We thought they'd never end. Yeah, learning and touring. I mean, touring is, I love touring. Touring is great. I think touring a song before you record it is the best thing to do, because that's, you know, that's the best way to sort of develop a song, you know, sort of let it find its feet. Vinny says, thanks for your reply. I use acoustic guitar mainly myself. Just wondering, what effects do you use for acoustic guitar? I like the messing around with reverb and loop effects. Reverse seems interesting. I've never tried reverse. But yeah, I use lots of like reverb and delay. some distortion, this kind of stuff. I use right now. I'm using the Strymon Blue Sky. Don't know if you can actually see that. Strymon Blue Sky. I'm using sort of this one here. Boing. And I'm also using the AFX, the Fishman AFX Acoustiverb, which is really nice. And I use a bunch of like EQ as well. I'm going to a preamp EQ, using a delay as well, and the Blue Sky. Yeah, there's a video that I break down my whole pedal board. Maybe I'll do an updated version of that. I don't know. That did fairly well actually. Still getting views. Can't remember what I called it. I called it "Do Acoustic Guitars Need Pedals?" That's what I called it. And technically no, but you know, it's fun. Technically no guitars need pedals. Really, you can go, electric guitars can go straight into the amp, can't they, really? But it's so much more fun with pedals. So I lost my place again. Practice Repo says, don't underestimate yourself there, Fabian. Underrate yourself, sorry. Sorry, I've skipped a load. Hold on. Reverse is always worth the effort. I'll look into reverse. Anybody else used reverse as an effect? Reverse pedals? Am I just being really dumb? I have never heard of that before. Simon says, Brill, thank you. I'm in the UK, so that's all good. Yeah, you can get to, you know, you can get to Germany very easily from the UK. Jose says, how does a signal from the mic go through the effects? Do you mean this mic? Because this mic is not any effects right now, but I'm actually, this mic is going to my interface, and then it's going into my DAW, which is Reaper that I'm using. But it doesn't matter what DAW you use. And then I'm just sort of adding just effects on that. And then, yeah, and that's it, pretty much. I hope that's what you meant. Maz says, if you're running gain through the amp, run delays, reverbs, and other coloring through the effects loop. If the amp is clean, it's fine to go straight into the amp input. A 57 mic always works fine. Yeah, that's interesting. I've like so the coloring effects, you would say, go through the effects loop. Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen some people use effects just straight into the front, and other people's go through the effects loop. But that's interesting. Anybody else use also acoustic amps? You know, you have the ability, a lot of them have effects loop as well. Jose says, will you come to LA for concerts? I wish. I wish, Jose. No, I won't. Not anytime soon, at least. It's. By the way, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Maybe it's completely different. I guess it's hard for other people on the other side. But no, it's too expensive for me to go over to LA, and I think maybe one day, you know. But it's yeah, it's a lot for me to get over. Also, whenever I go on tour, which is not often these days, but if I do, I'd like to be able to take my family with me. You know, I don't want to leave them behind. So that's a whole nother expense. Okay. Chris says, perfect take or warts and all? Is that like, are you saying like perfect take or leave warts and all in? Is that your question? I would say warts and all. Of course, I'm all about the warts. And I leave them in. I don't edit them out as well. There's no such thing as a perfect take as well. You know, there's just different sounding takes, and you know, there's always something that's like there's always something you can improve on. You know. Chris says, did you switch mics? I think I preferred the acoustic sound when you were talking. Was warmer and darker. Hiss a little bright. I didn't switch mics. No. Still got the same. Levels are the same. It could be just that I was playing a bit higher up, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was the key. No, I didn't switch. Okay, I'm just catching up. Here we go. Many Vibes says, I'm thoroughly convinced that Dadgad tuning and capos are magic. They are very true. It is. But it's definitely also worth practicing as well. But they are magic, absolutely. But you know, I like standard tuning sometimes as well. Sometimes just a bit of standard tuning is really nice. Many Vibes says, it would be cool if there was a pedal that changed your guitar sound to any alternate tuning you wanted. Is that a thing? I'm sure that exists. Yeah. But I don't know how good it is. And as well, it would change your tuning, but then you'd still hear the acoustic guitar being played, you know. So it would be different, so that would kind of mess with things as well. But there's all kinds of pedals, octave pedals, and all kinds of like detuning pedals. Mazukakai says, try D-A-D-E-A-D. It's fun. Tune the G string down to E. Interesting voicings. Yeah, I've tried that before. Let me just see how that is. So you tune the G down to E. A bit further, there we go. So it's like the E is like a second or a ninth, you know. So it kind of adds a little bit of dissonance. I like it. Yeah, it's nice. I like that the sus2 or ninth. It's kind of adds that dissonance. I like it. Okay. All right. I'm going to get through these. Any more questions? I'll tell you what, I'm going to go through a few more and then I'm going to do one more song. And then I'm going to answer any last questions. So if you have anything, then now's the time. A spider capo, yeah, I've heard about spider capos. I've never actually had one. I wanted to get one. I'd love to get one. Anybody else have experience with spider capos? Do they? So the idea, right, is that you're able to. It's a capo, but you're able to choose out of 6 strings. It has 6 points and 6 levers, I guess, right? And then you can sort of change which ones, so choose which strings you want to press down or not, as the case may be. Is that right? Is that what a spider capo is? I think. Anybody else have experience with that? And does it really do what it says? I'm guessing it does. Chris says, "What verb you got there? What verb you got going there?" I've got a this here is an AFX acoustic verb from Fishman that you're hearing, and I generally it's a really natural sounding reverb. But then I have another sort of other effects going on connected to the volume pedal, and then you can kind of hear that's brings in more. So that kind of brings in more reverb, and that brings in the Strymon Blue Sky for any sort of dramatic moments that I want. And it's nice to control that with the volume pedal. So that's what you're hearing in between when I'm sort of bringing in these moments. You might be able to tell that certain moments within the songs are sort of a lot more reverb than others. That's because I'm using the volume pedal to bring them in. Thank you, Jitch. I appreciate that. Many Vibes says, a pedal that changed tunings would be cheaper than buying a new guitar for every tuning I fall in love with. That's true. But, yeah, just try and have your tunings, like, close together. So if you use, like, tunings like dadgad, tunings in D. Try and use like some variations in D, you know, so you have a few variations. And then if you have like tunings in C, then try and have them close together, so you only have to tune like maybe 2 strings or something like this, so you're not completely doing new tunings. And then you sort of put your set list, so if you were going to play live and play songs, you would choose them depending on the tuning, so you're not like tuning with every song, you know, because that would be annoying and hassle for you, and the audience don't want to hear you just tuning for ages, you know. So that's what I did. Or fancy people have a guitar for every tuning and a guitar tech as well, and then the guitar tech just hands them the guitar with the new tuning, and then gets the guitar tech would get the next song ready. That would be great as well, but we can't all afford guitar techs to do that at gigs for us. Yeah, hopefully I answered the what is a spider capo for you there. Many vibes. Buying guitars are fun. That's true. Okay. As record a reverse delay. Yeah, I know reverse delay, but do you like? Is there a reverse delay pedal that only does reverse delay, or is it just like a setting in a delay pedal, or is it a specific thing? Jose says, sorry, I meant when you use pickup and mic with pedal board from one of your video. I think you were explaining about reverb pedal. Yeah. So the mics that I use are, I used to use like internal mics on the guitar, but now I just use external mics. So I use like a small diaphragm condenser, mainly because I sit down when I play live. So I'm able to use that. And also if I have an external condenser on stage, then I can use other instruments like a banjo that might not have a pickup in or whatever, you know. So it's that I like that freedom as well. But so I would just use like a preamp, and that would go into like a maybe an EQ, and then I'd have like an effects unit specifically for my small diaphragm condenser on stage, you know. So that's how I would do it, and I'd take like a rack unit thing, like a 2U rack unit with that all there, which is a lot. But to be honest, most venues would have that anyway, so most of the time I can actually just give them, you know, say, oh, this mic needs a bit of EQ and it needs some reverb, and if it's a decent venue, then the sound engineer would be able to deal with that, if that makes sense. I hope that explains things. Vinny says, I've seen someone do a live with reverse, then reverse it again and jam to it. Okay. A live with reverse and then reverse it again and then jam to it. That sounds complicated. I'd have to have a look at that. Sounds very cool though. Perfect. Good to know, Jose. Pronouncing your name correct. Great. Thanks for letting me know. Jidge says, I never understood the use of effects, loops, on acoustic amps? Anyone ever use one, and why? Yeah, that's a good question. Effects loops, I'm guessing, is that it's that you're able to, I don't know, that it's is it maybe a more kind of, it doesn't go through certain preamps, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe anybody else knows a bit more about effects loops. I haven't got anything that has effects loops. Oh, I lie actually. One of my recent videos I did on the Rain AP13 that has an effects loop. So I should practice. So I should do more with that and try it out. But I'm guessing there is benefits with using effect loops, or depending on than versus going straight in. On acoustic amps. Anyone else have experience on acoustic, specifically acoustic amp effects loops? Why would you use that? All right. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we got Benjamin. We got a super chat. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Budget of 1,000. Specific recommendation for a mic and another equipment to connect with DAW on Mac laptop, please, for singer-songwriter. Budget of 1,000. Okay. For a mic and another equipment to connect the DAW. So is the 1,000 like the mic and an interface as well? I'm guessing that will be the case. You know what? I've seen a lot of Universal Audio interfaces. In terms of the interface, they do a lot of what looks like good quality budget interfaces, like for sort of 300, 400, this sort of price range. Obviously you can spend a bit more, but I've heard great things about Universal Audio. I'm sure you can get something for around 500. And on a mic, I would go for probably a large diaphragm condenser. And because with that you can record guitar, you can record most things, you can record vocals, you can record guitar and vocals at the same time with a large diaphragm condenser like this one here. And one for 500, let's say. You could look at maybe AKG. Maybe there's one for AKG, or Austrian Audio as well have a good one for around that price, I'm pretty sure. I haven't got the prices on me now, but you know, you could even, I wonder even if there's a Neumann TLM 103, although I think that is over 500. TLM 102, how much? Yeah, Neumann TLM 102 is like 689 euros, I see. So that'll probably be above if you're looking to get an interface as well. But that's what I suggest. Austrian Audio, I've tried out their mics. They're really, really nice. And they definitely have like some cheaper options as well. And Austrian Audio used to be part of AKG, but it's some people that left AKG and started their own company. And they make some really nice stuff. Yeah, OC16. It's a large diaphragm condenser. For $349. You know, they do a much more expensive one. That's $999. But the OC16, I've heard it and it sounds really good as well. So that's what I'd recommend. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if that's like your that's for an interface as well as a microphone. But I definitely look at, if it's just one microphone, I'd look at just getting a large diaphragm condenser first. Because of the versatility, you know, of what you can do for a singer-songwriter. All right. Just looking for any more questions. I reverse delay TC electronic flashback. Okay, so you can turn it on and off. It's mostly random, so tuning it on and off gives me most control. Also, don't use it completely wet. Yeah. Nice. What I heard, someone commented on one of my videos recently, I thought was really cool. He said when he's EQing his pickup, he finds it really good to have a looper pedal just before, so you loop like yourself playing some chords or some stuff, and then you EQ, so you're not trying to play a little bit and then EQing. And then what I usually do is just kind of play the open strings and EQ a bit, and then play and listen, and then EQ a bit. But I thought that was a nice idea, and I'd actually seen some other people do that before, and just use a looper just before the EQ, just for that purpose, you know. So I thought that was interesting. Don't know why I mentioned that. All right, I'm gonna do one more song, and yeah, I think I've answered all the questions. If I haven't, then let me know, please. And so now's your time to ask any questions, or just let us know what you're working on, or anything like that, and I'll do my last song before I go. All right. This is a sea shanty from Scotland. Haven't played this in ages. I hope I remember all the words. It's called Bonnie Ship the Diamond. Here we go.
Diamonds have ship me last to Davis Strait she's bound, and Quay is all garnished when Bonnie Lass is round. Captain Thompson gives the order to sail the ocean wide. The sun it never sets me last, nor darkness dims the sky. And it's cheer up me lads, let your hearts never fail. When the Bonnie ship the diamond go shipping for that whale. Along the quay I'd beat to head the lasses stand around with their quails all about them and salt tears running down. Don't you weep, my bonny lass, though you've been left behind. The rose will go in green as ice before we change our mind. And it's cheer up me lads, let your hearts never fail. When the Bonnie ship the diamond go shipping for that whale. His health to the Resolution, likewise the Eliza Swan. His health to the Battle of the Monstro and the Diamond Ship of Fame. We wear trousers of the white and jackets of the blue, and we return to Peterhead, we'll have sweethearts anew. And it's cheer up me lads, let your hearts never fail. When the Bonnie ship the diamond go shipping for that whale. Diamonds are ship-me lights. Davis Street, she's brown, and Quay is all garnished. When Bonnie Lass round, Captain Thompson gets the order. I see the ocean wide. The sun, it never sets me lights. No darkness dims the sky. And it's cheer me lads, let your hearts never fail. When the Bonnie ship, the diamond goes a shipping for that whale. Was Bonnie Ship the Diamond. Okay. Alright, I'm going to finish up with answering the last questions. If there's any questions that I've missed, then please make sure that you might need to write them again. I'm sorry if I missed them. Mazukakai says, effect loop determine where the pre or post gain the effect sits. That way the effect doesn't fight for space with the chain signal. Yeah, I heard it was something like that. So it's determines where the pre or post gain of the effect sits. That's interesting. Yeah, I think I need to do more research in effects loops. I just don't use them because I don't have anything that uses them, you know, right now. But it's definitely interesting for anybody that has effects loops in whatever you use, you know, whether it's a preamp or whether it's an amplifier. I see it more in electric amps than acoustic stuff, but it's definitely interesting. And G says yes, but an acoustic amp, the signal should be clean from start to finish, pre and post. That's true, yeah. There's always a balance, which is part of the fun. Maz says, I so enjoy the forum and hopefully you'll find people here. Thank you, Fabian. I enjoy music and sounds. Listen to your songs. And I've got to get together for my gig. Cheers from Kentucky. Appreciate that. Got to do some dadgad tonight for sure. Lovely. I love it.
Love how you bring in the background ghost reverb when not singing. Back to clean when singing. Really nice. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's just like a volume pedal bringing in the effect. Because in certain moments, if I was singing and using that, it would just drown everything out, and you know, so it's nice to kind of have this volume pedal to bring in, basically acting like an expression pedal. Hey Adrian, how's it going? Adrian says, thanks for the stream. I have a question. Do you have any tips on avoiding string noise when switching chords? It's very audible on my recordings. Yeah, it's something that can happen a lot, specifically with if you have new strings, I find, and especially if they're like these ones. These ones are quite noisy when they're new. Now they're okay. When they're like phosphobrons, I find when they have a coating on, they're quite noisy. But yeah, it can be really annoying and really off-putting as well to hear this squeaky sort of sound in between the chords. You could try different strings. I don't know if the different strings would do anything. Especially like try maybe not recording with brand new strings as well. So I usually like to wait like a day or two before I record. Doesn't always happen. You could, I don't know if there's anything that I've actively done to avoid it, to actively try to avoid it apart from these things. It sometimes happens, and it, especially if you're moving up and down the neck a lot, you're getting these sort of sounds. I mean, sometimes I quite like them, to be honest, the string noise. But I'm not sure if there's actually anything you can do to actually stop it if you have that. If there's anyone else that has any tips with string noise, avoiding string noise, you could try maybe lifting your hand slightly. I mean, feels a bit awkward to do that, So like instead of sliding, instead of doing that, you could just literally just kind of almost mute it and then, kind of lift it off completely. So string noise usually happens when you're sliding, if that's possible, I'd say practice that. Maybe don't record with brand new strings. Try that. Let me know how that is. Vinny says, what would you suggest for practicing acoustic guitar quietly, say after 11 at night? That's a good question. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Try practicing quietly. try playing quietly, I mean, it sounds stupid now I say it like that, but it's to be honest, it's something I've never really had a problem with, even when I've been living, in a shared flat, shared house, when it's like other people sleeping. Generally, I would just kind of practice playing quietly, especially if you're finger picking. It can be really nice to kind of just practice being able to pick the instrument quietly, I don't know if there's actually anything you can do in terms of like muting the guitar. You could try these sound hole covers. I don't know how much they actually mute the guitar. And I don't know if that's what they're designed for. I think they're mainly designed for on stage, for against feedback. But yeah, I would suggest just practice playing quietly, because that's a skill in itself. You know, being able to play quietly is a really important skill. You know, being able to practice those dynamics. If anybody else has any advice for Vinny there. Raul says, which acoustic amp do you use? I don't use any at the moment. I don't use any acoustic amp. But if I was going to use an acoustic amp, I would look at AER amps. I mean, they're amazing, but they're a little on the pricey end. But there's some other great amps as well. Fishman do amps. They do some really small ones. What's the one? Jidge? What's the one you have? Jidge has one, like an old one from, I've forgotten what it is now. Maybe if Jidge is still around, he can remind you. But yeah, there's AER make really, really high-end. They're actually based in Germany as well. High-end acoustic amps, but they can be, you know, if you have a high budget, then that's the amp to get. But there's lots of other companies that do great amps. I've heard the Fishman ones are really nice. But yeah, it's I don't use any acoustic amps just yet. I used to have AER amps, but I don't anymore. All right, time to string up the old guild. Nice. I love a guild. Guild are great. Thanks again. Appreciate you. Have a great gig. Jidge says flat wound strings reduce finger squeak. That's good to know. Thanks for that, Jidge. Would a parametric EQ be better for acoustic than graphic? I've seen you use a parametric in the past. Yeah, I would say they all kind of have their own sort of uses, you know. Even the low, mid, and treble, you know. I use everything. I use, although I'm not using a graphic EQ right now, I'm using just the low, mid, and treble on my preamp, and then I'm using a parametric. Graphic EQs are great for sort of getting the rough shape, you know, getting that sort of the rough idea of what sound you want and what frequencies you want to reduce or boost. But parametric EQs are great if you want to be very, very specific on say you have this frequency that is very annoying and it's very, very specific and it's very tight, you know, because you look at the frequencies like this as like a graphic EQ. Usually they don't allow you to be as precise in what frequencies you control, but parametric EQs they really you can be very pinpoint precise. So that means that's great for like things like feedback as well, because you know if you're getting a certain frequency that's feedbacking, you can just find that on a parametric EQ really easily if you know how to use it. And then you can just cut that specific frequency that's causing you feedback. And so it's not going to cut any other frequencies around it, you know. So you're not going to lose much tone over it, basically. So that's what it allows you to do. I would say everyone should try and get a parametric EQ if possible. But graphic are great as well. Parametric are slightly more expensive. The one I have is from... Empress Effects. They make amazing pedals. They're based in Canada. I think I bought mine like secondhand. Like, it's definitely, you can pick them up for like a couple of hundred, maybe $300, something like this. But they've just recently released a new one of that as well. But you can find other like parametric. I think Boss even do a parametric, or used to do a parametric EQ pedal. There's not many parametric EQ pedals out there though. But yeah, they're very specific, so it depends on what your needs are. But you have most control with a parametric, I would say. Oh yeah, Jose says you can put a sponge by the bridge. So that might work. That's a good idea. I never tried that. So you can maybe put like something by the bridge underneath, like a sponge. You could try that. I've never tried that before. That's a good idea, Jose. Well done. Thanks for suggesting that. Jidge says, I have an Ibanez Troubadour. That's it. That's the Ibanez Troubadour T80. And a Marshall AS50R plus. Plus some electric amps. Yeah, the Ibanez Troubadour. Is that a vintage one, Jidge? I think you remember you saying it was. Yeah, they look really nice. I love these vintage style, or actually vintage acoustic amps. For EQ, you can't beat the Ibanez parametric EQ pedal for value. Oh yeah, there's Ibanez do the parametric as well. That looks really good as well. Yeah, that's definitely look into that. All right, no problem, Vinny. Thanks a lot. It's the Ibanez Pentatone equalizer. That's a good one to look out for. Mazukakai says 1984 Guild D48 ash back and sides. Oh, nice. Played over 3,000 gigs over 25 years. About time to retire her. Oh no. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know how much longer I can take this one out for gigs, for tours anymore. Although I'd love to. It's just there's so much like history and like personal history in my guitar that if it got damaged or lost, I would just like, I don't know what I would do. I would just cry for days. Raul says, have you tried Atkin guitars? Have I tried Atkin? I know of Atkin guitars. I know they're really nice. I don't know if I actually tried one though. No, I don't think I have actually. But I've heard them, and I've heard that they're really nice guitars. Jidge says the Troubadour has been around for a long time, but I think it's still available. Yeah, I think I looked at it last time you mentioned it, and it was available. I can't remember the price now of it was, but it's I think you can still get it. Okay, guys, I think it's 11 o'clock now, coming up to 11 here in Berlin. I think I need to go to bed. Uh-oh. Am I still live? Am I still live? Something happened there. I think I'm still live. My computer is crashing, so I think that's a good time to end it, everyone. All right, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Sorry if I didn't manage to answer all of your questions. I saw there's just one here. When you're adjusting your capo during the last song you played, what capo is it? Oh, okay, yeah. I'll just mention this capo just before I go. This is Elliott capo, made in the US. These are very, very nice, but very expensive. They're like handmade. It's like jewelry. These capos, they're absolutely beautiful. But so you can check them out. But it's like $100 for a capo. I bought it like years and years ago. I actually bought it for cheaper when they were a bit cheaper. Can't remember how much I spent, but they're very, very nice. But you know, but it will last you a lifetime. 100%. This will last you a lifetime. Elliott capos, check them out. All right, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you haven't signed up to the Song Club, then make sure you sign up, because you know we're having conversations. We're having these same conversations off YouTube and on my website. So if you want to sign up, you know it's free. It's full of great people, like a lot of people here. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.